Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Broaden the scope of exposure for your business by going beyond the interview. Learn more at www.jmmbmediallc.com or email us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. Today, we welcome David Quinney, who is an entrepreneur and investor with focuses in product development, market strategy, capital deployment, and scale. David is a co-founder of Fanology, digital and managing partner of Fanology Capital Market Engine, as well as being an early stage investor in several companies and funds. David has a passion for building teams and systems capable of taking innovative products to market and positioning for rapid, sustainable growth. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, David. So how did you get on this road?
How did I get on this road? Well, I'm still on the road, if we're being honest. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, so kind of a long way from where I am right now. And I graduated and I went to University of Miami. So did a double major in psychology and marketing, and it was, to be honest, kind of a brand new world to me, coming from Utah. And while I was there, really got my first taste of entrepreneurship, of all things, working in the nightlife industry, because a lot of my friends and I didn't have any money at the time, but we would like to be able to go out, so we decided to create a business out of it. I graduated and I moved to Los Angeles. And in my early 20s, I was designing financial models for independent films and producing a few. So that was sort of my entree into content creation, understanding how to market a product and a service and really run a company, because producing a film is not so dissimilar from running sort of a small company. It just happens over a 30-day or 60-day production schedule. And then after that, you go into post and marketing and business and P&A and all of that. And then just like happened to everybody else in 2009, we all ran into the financial crisis. And at that time in the entertainment industry, so just to take you back, Facebook is still a private company. Instagram doesn't exist yet. There's no Twitter. Google is just getting ready to launch AdWords, and LinkedIn was just coming on the scene. So at that period of time, all of the credit lines due to the financial crisis had really dried up, both for film financing and also for film distribution. You had a writer's strike at that time, and it's already a very difficult business. So a couple of my partners and I took a look at what we thought was coming in the industry, and we thought the future was going to be digital audience build and aggregation. So we co-founded our first content media company with a technology backend. It was called Fanology. It is called Fanology. And so what we were doing is we said we were going around to a lot of the large brands, Toyota, Walt Disney, a lot of the artists at CAA, and we were saying, hey, look, guys, traditional prints and advertising, television commercials are going out the window. We can build you a digital audience online across all of these various platforms and provide you with the precise analytics to let you know where everybody precisely is, and also what they want to see that will inform your product generation, your content generation, movies, albums, motorized bicycles that turned out to be cars, you name it. And in 2009, 2010, they all thought that it was basically a toy for college kids. But fast forward to around 2011, where it started to really take traction, because I was 26 at the time. And they said, hey, who are those kids? Let's get them back in here because we don't totally understand what's going on. So we ended up building a lot of the large scale audiences for the digital audiences for companies like Microsoft, Toyota, Walt Disney, ABC Family. We did Apple's first ever digital album release through iTunes. And so that took me from content creation in terms of film production and finance through to technology. And what I started to learn and be really fascinated about was what was happening in the early 2010s in terms of technology advancement. And everything sort of exploded from there. So I co-founded a couple of other companies and also did some angel investments, some venture capital, and sat on a few boards, still sit on a few boards. And then in late 2017, I did a small investment into a predictive and preventive health business that was ahead of its time. And along with the investment, they asked me to join the board, which I accepted. And then they asked me to come on as the chief marketing officer, which I accepted for a time. And as we all know in entrepreneurship, they don't all work. And unfortunately, over an 18-month period, this business did not. However, I learned a tremendous amount in terms of the health technology space. And I saw some things that I thought it would work if they were done correctly. And I'm very fortunate. So my current full-time role is as one of the four co-founders of FiOS Health Technologies. And how we arrived there is I'm very fortunate that my two cousins, a husband and wife team, also happen to be two of the most brilliant scientists and physicians in the country. One was running genomics for Harvard Medical, and the other one was running public health for Harvard Medical. So the three of us sat down together and we said, okay, what would it look like if we really wanted to do this right? Let's not worry about costs. Let's not worry about how we're going to productize it just yet. Like, let's really look at, if you really wanted to look at disease screening for every individual in the country, what would that look like? And so we got to work on that. And candidly, I'm the only one of our four co-founders. I'll get to Chris in a moment. That is not a scientist or a data scientist. I'm sort of the business and marketing guy. But we all sat down and we said, okay, how do we design the perfect genome screening mixed with the perfect blood screening, mixed with microbiome and family health history and personal environmental? And what would that look like? And how would we be able to deliver that to an individual that doesn't want to spend $25,000 a year on an executive physical at the Mayo Clinic or the Cooper Clinic? And so we set to work on doing that, and that's what we've created today. And once we got the R&D done, then we ended up with this just immense amount of data per individual, far too much for our entire clinical team or research team to assess. So that's where the AI systems come into place. And so the AI systems are able to do what an entire clinical team would do in terms of analysis over 8 weeks. It does it in under a second. And it provides you with your current health valuation and risk today, and then predictive modeling moving into the future. Wow. So that's it was a bit long-winded, but that's a sort of a windy path about how I ended up where I am today.
What is the name of your company now, the one that we were just speaking of?
Yeah, so the name is FiOS Health, FHIOS, health.
Okay.
And the reason we named it FIOS is because FIOS in Gaelic and Nordic means knowing. And so our North Star with our products and protocol is that when you think about healthcare and medicine today, we all walk around and you know how much money is in your bank account. You know what stocks are in your portfolio. You know how much gas is in your car. You know if your tires are low. You probably know what you had to eat for lunch yesterday. But in reality, you do not know what is going on inside of your body, which is your most precious asset. You kind of guess and you go to the doctor once a year and you hope that you don't get sick, which is what's called being symptomatic. And if you become symptomatic, you hopefully go to the doctor or the hospital, and hopefully it's not too upsetting and they can fix you, right? Which, when you really take a step back and you think about it, is kind of an odd way to approach your health. You wouldn't manage a stock portfolio that way. You wouldn't manage your finances that way. You wouldn't manage anything else in your life that way. Why are we managing our health that way? So our whole purpose and our whole platform is designed to give every person the ability to not guess, but to know precisely what is going on inside their body at any given time.
Wow. That's amazing.
And that's ambitious.
That's
Very, very fine.
It is ambitious.
yeah.
I agree with you there.
It's something that we actually need to know. It's information. Actually, when you look at it, our body, our physical body, is the only real possession that we actually own,
Correct.
for all of our
And
life.
it's everything from physical health, mental health, emotional health, all of that. It's all one system, right? And if you're sick, it makes it very difficult to do anything else that is important in your life, right? It makes it difficult to work efficiently. It makes it difficult to travel efficiently. It makes it difficult to play with your kids efficiently. So invest efficiently. Priority number one should be your personal health. It's kind of like, I always joke with some of our partners. It's like, when you get on an airplane and they're like, first put the mask on yourself and then help your kid. This is like this for your entire life. So you have to be able to first take care of yourself in order for you to be able to take care of every other portion of your life.
Absolutely.
So yes, absolutely. This is so very clearly a departure from the normal medical paradigm that we're all used to, which is I get sick, I get hurt, I go to the doctor and say, fix me. Something major happens. I have a heart attack. I go have surgery. But you're
Correct.
putting this turning all of that on its head. Those options will be there if we need them. But first, take care of your health so that you don't need all of the additional medical interventions if you can possibly help it, if you can possibly stay away from it. But most of those interventions happen because we're not taking care of our health. We take our bodies for granted, and just like you mentioned, mental health is also a part of it. And up until the pandemic, I don't think anybody even as a whole really thought about people's mental health. But the pandemic brought that home, especially the post-pandemic. So all of that is incorporated. It sounds as if it's all incorporated in this organization, this company that you're.
Yeah, so you're absolutely correct. And there's a couple of key points that are really important to highlight. So number one, we like to call it a health system in your pocket, an entire health system. So an example of a health system is Mass General or Cedars-Sinai or University of Utah, right? So research, labs, R&D, physicians, health records, all of that, but in your pocket. And so the couple of things that are really important to highlight here is we are not trying to disrupt the medical industry whatsoever, which, by the way, is the single largest industry on planet Earth, the American medical industry by revenue. What we are saying is in the United States today and pretty much everywhere else in the world, we don't actually have healthcare. What we have is we have medical care, to your point, Ruth. And medical care is incredibly important because people inevitably are going to get sick and people inevitably are going to get hurt. We need great medical care. We need great treatment systems. And when you look at it historically, we're actually, for all the challenges in the medical system right now, we're actually pretty phenomenal historically at treating disease and injury. What the system is not set up and designed to do, nor incentivized to do, is to keep people healthy for as long as possible. So we're not trying to augment or disrupt the medical system. We see that as something here that we act in parallel with. But over here, there will be, so we call it healthcare, but it's really not healthcare, it's medical care, what we have today. Over here, there will be true healthcare. And this will use a lot of the same science and methodologies, but with an incredibly important distinction. This system over here is designed to keep you healthy and out of the medical system for as long as possible. And if, which we all will have to do, because none of us are going to live forever, if you have to go into the medical system, we want to send you in there with the best data and tools possible and the earliest screening protocols possible so that you can come out of the medical system and back into the healthcare system, which we're creating as quickly as possible with the best efficacy. So that's really one of our North Stars and how we're thinking about this. Rather than try to say, hey, we're going to build a different kind of doctor's office or a different kind of hospital. No. Our system isn't about that. Our system is to deliver a best-in-class screening protocol and combination of health products to you that is designed specifically to target 84% of all chronic illness and eventually death, in order that we can hopefully behaviorally deal with it. And if it does require medical intervention, then we want to liaise with the medical system in order to get you to, in the case of heart disease, the best cardiologist, right? The best pharmaceutical intervention so that we can, prolong a long and healthy life for you. And so that's really the thinking behind the business architecture and the product architecture.
So the question now is the medical professionals, how are they embracing this?
It's a great question. So one of the interesting things, let's take a primary care physician right now, okay, all over the country. So the average primary care physician in the United States today, believe it or not, makes $120,000 a year. And they have on average $240,000 of student debt after undergrad and med school. So what's interesting is, think about your typical doctor's appointment. Your typical doctor's appointment is 3 hours out of your day. Okay. By the time you drive there, by the time you park, by the time you wait in the waiting room, by the time that you get weighed and get your vitals done by somebody who is not the doctor, and then you're taken to an exam room, maybe they draw your blood, also not the doctor, and then you wait in there for another 40 minutes, and then the doctor comes in and you see the doctor on average from 4 to 6 minutes. And there's a reason for that. The reason is because the vast majority of insurance companies won't reimburse beyond 6 minutes. So every minute the doctor is spending with you beyond that 6 minutes they're actually paying to be there. And that's why they're seeing 30 patients a day. They have to. So what we've done with our physicians is we have a signed network of 4,000 physicians nationwide of all specialties. And we say, hey, listen, don't change anything in your practice. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. But we would like to have you come on as precision physicians, and we will refer patients after the diagnostic screening. And then we will pay you twice what you're making in your practice in cash outside of insurance as part of cost of goods sold. And you get to now spend 60 to 90 minutes with the patient going through everything, and you don't have to do all of that. So the doctors love it. They don't have to do any legwork. They're making twice what they would make in their normal practice, and they don't have to move a thing. Now, in terms of big medical, they really like it as well, because what happens is if someone has a heart attack, someone has a stroke, right? So we're screening these things. If someone's pre-diabetic, we're early stage Alzheimer's, we're screening for these things. And so we're sending the patient, we call them members, we're sending them in with the best complete data set in order for the already stressed hospital workers, nurses, and doctors, in order to accurately treat those patients if they do find themselves in a hospital. And the nice thing is all of it exists on your own digital encrypted server. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're in Paris, if you're in Rome, if you're in Tokyo, and you have to go to the hospital, your entire record system, all of your blood reports, all of your genes, your entire health history is with you right there. Your health insurance records, everything is right there. So just pull it up, and you're giving big medical a significantly better tool in order to deal with it, if that makes sense.
Wow. So I got so many questions. David, you're gonna have to come back, because this is a lot. This is
It is.
So as a
Sorry.
patient, let's say,
Yeah.
how do you get your physician into this program? Because we all know not all of them are in.
Yeah. So here's the best part. Let's talk about physician, and let's talk about patients, which we call members. So getting back to the 3-hour doctor's appointment, that is now a thing of the past. So you do not ever go to a doctor's office or a clinic or a hospital. What happens is you simply pull out your phone, you download the platform, and you schedule your baseline at a time and place of your choosing. And one of our health professionals comes to your home or office within 24 hours, takes your vitals, draws your blood. That then goes to centralized labs for processing, running our unique proprietary protocols. That data then runs through artificial intelligence, and then that is going to go to your precision physician. And that entire process, from the time that somebody comes to your home to the time that you are sitting either in the doctor's office, if you choose, or via Zoom, because it's actually not Zoom. I'd say it's Zoom. It's our own encrypted video chat. That whole process takes 5 days, end to end. And for the analysis, and then you will sit down with your physician, and your physician will go through all of your results for everything. The idea is we provide the data sets and the analysis so that if you have stage 1 lung cancer and you just haven't started coughing yet because it's early, or if you have an early stage brain tumor, but you haven't started getting dizzy and headaches yet because it's early, these protocols will see it. And then the doctor will be able to see it, and then we'll be able to provide you either with medical intervention or behavioral intervention. So let's get back to heart disease. So let's say that the data comes back to your physician, and and they're spending 90 minutes and they say, hey, we found that you have high blood pressure and your sleep patterns are off and you're a smoker. And the results are showing two partial blockages near your heart, right? So are you going to have a heart attack tomorrow? Probably not. But if you are, we want to know about it immediately so we can avert it. But then the doctor may say, okay, listen, you're not going to have a heart attack tomorrow, but you are 30 pounds overweight. You are a smoker. You are not sleeping well. You do have high blood pressure. You have high cholesterol, and you've got 3 partial blockages. So the next piece of the platform is that happens without the immense amount of data. That happens in everyone's annual physical, right? And then the doctor inevitably says, hey, I want you to work out 3 times a week. I want you to get better sleep. I want you to quit smoking. I want you to lose 20 pounds, and I want you to clean up your diet and eat more leafy greens. And then they pat you on the butt and they send you out the door. And so the average person after that walks out the door and says, okay, I'm really determined to do this. I'm going to do everything that the doctor said. And then they get out in the real world and they discover that. So let's start with diet. They go to Whole Foods because it's all they know. They don't know where the nearest local farmer's market is or health food restaurant. So they go to Whole Foods and they discover that it's 2.5 times more expensive than their local grocery store. And then, okay, so wow, that hurts. And then, but I'm going to eat healthy. And then they go to join a gym and they're 30 pounds overweight. So they discover but they get locked into a year-long contract. So they discover that they don't really like being in the gym. Maybe they would have liked running. Maybe they would have liked yoga, Pilates, cycling, hiking, all sorts of different things, right? But they just got locked into this contract. And then the doctor says they should de-stress and meditate, but they've never meditated before. So they don't even really know where to begin, right? So you put all of these factors together, and on average, every person regresses to the mean over 17 days because it's such a hassle to try to redefine your behavior. It's complicated. It's expensive. You've got to be on Google doing the research. So we created a portion of our platform after you're done with the 5-day diagnostics that's called FiOS Life. And FiOS Life aggregates and curates the best-in-class products and services, both in your digital and physical environments in whatever city you're in. So it finds you all of the pre-vetted farmers markets, gyms, spas, salons, health food restaurants, and you can look at it all through your platform on your phone. And when you walk in the door of any of these places, they will know your name, they'll welcome you, and the services will be discounted and you'll get special treatment. So we call it turning your city into your own personal health club.
Wow.
That
How
is amazing.
how do we get connected?
That's my next question.
How do we sign up?
So the tech build is done, the research is done. We have not launched yet. We're targeting launch by the end of 2023. And we are projected to roll out 14 cities over a 36-month period post the first city launch.
Okay.
Well,
So-
we'll look forward to that and hearing about it.
Yes.
Gotta
Yes.
come back and tell us about the launch. Where it's
Yeah.
launched.
Yes, you definitely
We're
gonna have to
excited.
do that. And how do people connect with you so they can stay in the loop of what's going on?
Sure. So you're more than welcome to share my email, david@phtholdings.com. The reason PHT Holdings is a long time ago when we all founded it, we called it Precision Health Technology Holdings in order to develop it as a think tank. And then the forward-facing product that the co-founders and I did is called Fios, which is where we are now. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn, which I've shared the link here. But I'm generally very responsive via either LinkedIn or email.
Okay. Wow. David,
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Thank you.
This
yeah.
is very amazing. And because right now I'm going through a situation with my husband. He's got pain in his back and it sort of moves around. We've been to the doctors twice. Unfortunately, you cannot see pain unless it's like an organ or something that's causing it. So it's a whole lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to be able to say, okay, this is what the pain is coming from.
Mm.
And
Over like a 6 to 9 month period.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's like in the meantime, you in pain.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
your health is slowly degenerating because your body can't withstand pain, that kind of consistent pain, without affecting something else.
Yes.
Something else is going to
100%. And it makes you sedentary, and then
Yeah.
it makes you
depressed.
so that affects other portions of your general health, including your mental health,
Yes.
because you can't be moving around and that slows your blood flow. And so that's all very difficult. So, you know, the way that we look at this when we sat down is the health system, the medical system today is so monolithic and labyrinthine, and it's scary. Most people want to avoid it for as long as they can. Nobody wants to go to the hospital.
Right.
Nobody wants to go to the doctor. They're like, whatever I'm only going to go to this if I absolutely really must.
Yes.
And when you really think about it, that's terrible. Your health should be fun. It should be accessible. It should be something that's enjoyable and convenient and you interact with on a daily basis. It shouldn't be this scary thing that you avoid for as long as you possibly can. It should be the exact opposite. It should be something that you should be engaging with all day, every day, and it should be pleasant and it should be convenient and it should be affordable. So that's what we're on a mission to do in terms of a product experience. It should be a delightful experience. It shouldn't be a scary experience.
Yes. Wow.
And it should be, like you said, accessible. Like you said, people put it off until the last possible moment when they know that they know something's wrong. And then sometimes it's too late into the game for them. So this, I just think this is an amazing, and it is absolutely right for the times. You are so on schedule, so to speak, in the universe for doing this. So congratulations on what you've done and what you are accomplishing. I'm not going to say like it's done because it's still in process.
It will never be done.
No, it's going to keep evolving as people learn about it and you get more information and your systems develop even more and there's more technology. It's just going to continue to develop. And like I said, it is right for the times in which we live in. So thank you so very much.
Yes. Thank you so much, David. We are truly appreciative of this time with you and to be able to get this important information out to our viewers and listeners. Wow, wow, wow. You're definitely going to have to come back because we want to definitely keep following you on this development. And I'm going to be the first one to sign up when it becomes live.
So I would be honored to come back. Absolutely. And next time, if we'd be okay, I'd love to bring my co-founders because they're the actual, I mean, they're brilliant. They're the actual geniuses in this whole thing. So,
and again,
I just talk a lot.
How do people connect with you so that they can stay in the loop?
Yeah. So again, feel free to email me at david@phtholdings.com. And then you can also find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I think those are the two best ways to reach out.
Yes.
So
Well,
David Quinney, and there aren't too many of us out there, so just search David Quinney on LinkedIn, and you'll see me with BIOS and Precision Health Technology Holdings.
okay.
Excellent. All
Wow.
right.
Thank you so much for embracing our audience with this incredible information. I know most people that's going to be watching and listening to this, they're going to be wowing. So
Thank you. And thank you very much for having me. It's been delightful to meet you both.
absolutely. And we're looking forward to more collaborations.
Sounds good. Have a beautiful afternoon, ladies.
You
You
too.
do the same.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.